Losing a parent is one kind of a pain. Most people understand that very perfectly. There's the funeral, messages, a few weeks where everyone expects you to be a little bit more quieter than usual. People check in, they say the right things, there's space for it. But there's another layer that doesn't really get named, and it shows up a little bit later when life has technically gone back to normal. But you haven't. You're functioning, you're answering emails, you're making plans, you're even laughing sometimes. And then in some random moments like washing dishes, driving your car, folding the laundry, there is this quiet awareness that something feels different within me. No louder, no more emotional, just different. And if you felt that, you probably questioned yourself. Why am I still affected? Why do I feel more distant lately? Why do small things hit harder than they used to? And here's something that might bring a little bit more clarity for you. Losing a parent is one trauma. Feeling alone after is another. The first one is obvious. The second one is just very, very subtle. And subtle things are the ones that shape you quietly. When a parent dies, you don't just lose a person. You lose someone who existed in a very specific position in your life. The person who knew your earliest versions. The person who could confirm parts of your history without even explaining them. Even if the relationship was complicated and even if it wasn't perfect, there was still a structure there. When that structure disappears, something recognizes internally. You move up in a place in the invisible hierarchy of your family, and there is no one above you in the same way anymore. So that can create a strange feeling that's hard to describe. It's not panic, it's not even sadness, it's more like you're standing without the roof. And if during your grieving process you didn't feel emotionally supported, not practically but emotionally, your nervous system notice that. Maybe people were busy with their own grief. Maybe old family patterns came back. Maybe no one asked the deeper questions. Maybe you were the strong one, the capable one, the one who just organized everything. From outside, that might be looking very admirable, but inside something else can happen. You start internalizing the message that when something huge happens, you can handle it alone. And that message doesn't form as a sentence, it just forms as a behavior. You reach out less, you expect less, you explain less, you become simply more self-contained. And it just feels like the sensible way to move through things, right? But over time, this logic can turn into isolation. You might notice you are quicker to withdraw in conversations, quicker to think, it's fine, I don't need anyone, quicker to emotionally step back when something even feels slightly unstable. And that's not a personality flaw, that's adaptation. Parents sit in a very specific place in your attachment system. Even as an adult, your nervous system still registers them as a part of your safety map. So when one dies, the attachment system activates and it starts scanning for who is steady, for who is safe, who will hold the space for you. And if the answer during that season felt unclear, inconsistent, or emotionally distant, the system learns something. It learns that stability has to come from you. Self-reliance can be a beautiful thing, but hyper self-reliance is usually survival mode. And if you felt more guarded since losing a parent, especially if you felt unsupported afterward, it's not random. Grief and aloneness together can create a different imprint than grief alone. Because grief says, I miss them, but aloneness says, I don't feel supported. And those two settle very differently inside of you. You might just notice it in the relationships, maybe you don't shape things as openly as you used to. Maybe you become more selective about who gets access to your inner world. And maybe you cut conversations shorter. Or maybe you just overfunction in every freaking area of your life because, slowing down just feels uncomfortable for you. It's not about being cold, it's just about protecting yourself. Protection makes sense if there was a season where you were carrying something enormous and didn't feel supported, you just didn't feel supported through it. But the nervous system doesn't recognize experiences by the calendar date, it just categorized by safety. So if the loss felt destabilizing and unsupported, your body will remember that. So later when something slightly unstable happens, your reaction can be bigger than the moment itself. Not because you're irrational, but because your system learned to prepare you for the worst. That there is no one basically coming to save you. There is a moment, and it's very, very small, where this pattern can start shifting. It's a moment of pose, famous posing. The next time you feel you're pulling yourself emotionally or, deciding something alone, just notice it. Just pose for a second. There's usually a split second where you can feel that impulse to just close up again. And instead of automatically following that impulse, just ask within you, is this about what is happening right now, or is this about something familiar from the past? You don't need a big answer, my friend. You just need an honesty. And sometimes the reaction isn't about the current person or the situation. It's about the memory of holding grief by yourself. That's awareness and regulation. Because regulation isn't forcing calm, it's just bringing more context. And when your body understands that the present moment is not the same as the season, it slowly adjusts, very gradually and over time. That's how the second layer, the aloneness, starts loosening. Not because you forget the loss, but because you're no longer carrying it entirely by yourself. And maybe this is the shift. Maybe what hurt you wasn't only that your parent died. What shaped you was whether you felt supported while it was happening. That's a different lens. Because if the pain comes from feeling unsupported, then healing doesn't come from getting over the loss. It comes from slowly allowing yourself to feel supported again. That's the update. Not erasing independence, not becoming someone softer overnight, just teaching your nervous system that you don't have to go through big things alone anymore. And you might resist that at first. Being self-contained feels just safer for you, but safe isn't always the same as connected. So maybe the real question isn't how do I stop being guarded? Maybe you should just ask yourself, where did I learn I had to handle everything by myself? And is that still true for you? If you leave this video with one thing, let it be this. You weren't too much, or you were not too sensitive. You just adapted to a season where you felt alone. And now you get to decide slowly and consciously whether that adaptation still runs your life. I hope I'm leaving you here with something solid to think about. And if you want more support around grief, nervous system regulation, and rebuilding safety from the inside out, I left a free resources in the description below that might help you just navigate your own healing process. And with that being said, I look forward to see you on the next one.